Tanzania summons World Health Organization country representative over Ebola complaint. IGP Sirro warned UN cooperative senior police officers. And in sports, soccer coaches and football authorities in the country challenged to give priority to soccer training for youth. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Vanessa Victor. Let's start things off with the national news. The government has summoned the country representative of the World Health Organization, Dr. Tijes Ngest, after the United Nations Health Agency accused Tanzania of failing to share detailed information on suspected Ebola cases. Speaking in Dar es Salaam, the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs and East Africa Cooperation, Dr. Damas Dumara, said they have summoned the WHO country representative to seek details from the agency on reports circulating in the media. A WHO statement on Saturday had stated that it was made aware on September 10th of the death of a patient in Dar es Salaam and was unofficially told the next day that the person had tested positive for Ebola.
The issue, Honorable Minister, is that WHO did not say there is Ebola. I would like to underline this statement. We did not say that there is Ebola. This sentence did not come from WHO, be it from the headquarters, or from the regional office, or from our country office.
The Inspector General of Police, IGP Sirro, called on senior officers to work together without animosity and for regional police commanders who have overstayed their positions to let younger officers take over so that they can return to headquarters to create policies. IGP Sirro made this statement during a meeting with senior police officers in Dar es Salaam.
Mara nyingi maafisa wenzangu kinachosumbua ni ubinafsi. There's no way you want to become IGP. There's no, hakuna. Na naweza kuwa nazungumza mwingine anaona kama IGP wetu huyu hatoshi, nilikuwa natosha mimi. Awi? Sasa kama unatosha na Mungu hakukupa, sasa ukubali. Sasa mimi nitafanyaje? Wewe bwana umekuwa RPC mikoa mitatu minne, achia vijana.
I would like to call on RPCs who have been on duty for such a long time to allow the youth to fill the positions. You must have the succession plan. Be prepared to come back to the headquarters to prepare policies. Some people are actually running away from me simply because I will remind them of coming back to the headquarters. We got construction permits, but there was an addition of more land from the court ruling, which allowed us to get bigger area in Dar es Salaam, where we have completed construction of the houses. Allow me to hand them over to you while they are complete by 30th of September this year. When the houses will be connected with electricity, the police officers will move in as soon as possible. However, so far we have managed to install local gadgets in the houses. This means that once electricity is connected, then by 30th September, the police officers would be ready in the house.
A 98-year-old woman, Nancy Muluo, a resident from Sinoni Ward in Arusha region, has started to receive payment of compensation of 500 million shillings owed to her by residents who had taken over her land illegally. The directive to pay her had been given by the Minister of Land, Housing and Settlement Development, William Lukuvi, after the land had been illegally taken from her, causing a dispute that had lasted for more than 40 years.
When the government surveyed my land, we found out that we have a land with 3,458 square meters, which it costs 69,160,000 shillings. Today, we have gone to pay all the money so that the lady can get her rights while she is still alive, so that she could find a place where she could build a good house. All these are government efforts in fighting for her rights. and we have the responsibility of fulfilling government orders, and that is what we have done. I thank Honorable President Dr. John Pombe Magufuli, the Minister of Land, Housing and Human Settlement Development William Lukuvi, and the church for what they have done. I would like to thank the Bishop Leonard Mwizarubi and the church for adhering to the government directive by compensating the old lady. He has truly showed a good example in our community.
Na tumeona kuna haki ya kila mtu kulipa.
Police from Kinondoni Police Zone in Dar es Salaam have rescued from an angry mob of people the owner of a receipting secondary examination center in Dar es Salaam called Dar Unity, who was identified as Philip Mwakibinga after alleging that he had been taking fees without issuing exam registration numbers to students. The police intervened by taking the suspect to Mwenge police station.
For receipting, the students must strive to get their certificate so that they can pursue other studies. Surprisingly, my child does not have a national examination number, although I have paid a fine of 125,000 shillings. When I spoke with the teacher in charge, he is not giving me sensible answers and telling my son that there is no number. He should wait until next year. Since yesterday, my son has been crying, even failing to eat, because he can't tell his fate if he will do exams or not. I did take the students' money to register them in the coming national examinations. I did the registrations in poster. I have credentials that I did register the students, but what I didn't like is the selection of centers that the students have been selected to do the exams. I thought I would have a meeting with parents today for them to come and discuss with me on the way forward.
And construction workers from Chinese company CRJE East African Limited have commended the government for intervening in the issue concerning payment demands, which has resulted in daily payment of 12,500 shillings as labor charges for a road construction project in Yombo Ward from the 6,000 shillings they were previously being paid.
Baada ya kuja watu wa ITV wamesababisha habari yetu.
After our story was reported through ITV media, where our challenges were heard and the government responded quickly, we are glad that the National Social Security Fund NSSF reached out to us. A lot of things have changed, including our wages. We used to be paid 6,000 shillings per day, and now we're paid 12,500 shillings.
Nashukuru sana serikali kwa jitihada zao.
I would like to commend the government for these marvelous efforts after truly following up on the story that was reported on ITV station. Right now we are paid well. Not only that, they have even promised to totally change our working area environment because the areas are very dirty. However, so far the latrines are clean and we feel safe at work. We deeply send our gratitude to the leadership of ITV Media and our President Dr. John Pombe Magufuli for their efforts in solving this matter. We have been threatened by Mr. Eric because he has openly told us anytime he will get rid of us. So we have been asking ourselves, what does he want to do?
And some refugees from the Democratic Republic of Congo sheltering at Nyarugusu refugee camp in Kigoma region have started to return to their home country at their own costs. They've called on their government and the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, UNHCR, to put in place procedures which will enable them to return to the Democratic Republic of Congo, as had been done for Burundi refugees.
Wanakosa namna ya kufanya tu ili kusikia sasa nataka nirudi, lakini anaona namna ya kurudi hakuna. Anafisha kuwa na familia kubwa, hiyo namna ya kujirudisha yeye mwenyewe inamshinda.
And miners from Lake Zone regions have continued to turn up in big numbers at the second Technology and Investment in Mining Fair taking place in Geita. They said new technology showcased at the fair will enable them to turn to modern mining methods.
We have been given a great honor with Honorable Prime Minister to conduct the fair in Geita for 4 years. This shows that probably Geita will be the fair headquarters because there are entrepreneurs beyond the borders participating here like Uganda and Congo. They heard about the opportunity and brought their products. The ability of mining by using machines is different from using traditional methods. It is important to use modern methods since they have good speed and efficiency. One can incur huge losses if they will decide to go ahead with mining activities without consulting laboratory data. Our job is to add value in the mining sector from each stage, starting from research, small-scale mining to large-scale mining. We cater for different customers from small, medium to big miners.
Tanzania has welcomed international organizations, companies, investors and development stakeholders to support the government to implement plans to ensure availability of quality health services. The call was made by the Minister of Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation, Professor Palamagamba Kabudi, when addressing a high-level meeting on equal access to health services on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly in New York.
The government has set good environment in establishing pharmaceutical industries, where in this year 8 pharmaceutical industries are built in Tanzania. These industries will allow Tanzanians get access to medicines at lower costs. We are glad that right now in Tanzania 261 essential drugs are available in the country at 75.5%. More efforts are done in combating infant deaths. The government has managed to distribute vaccines throughout the entire country, where the efforts has also contributed in the reduction of the numbers of infant deaths, malaria cases and new HIV victims. These efforts will allow Tanzania as a country reach her 2030 sustainable goals as per UN strategy.
And that's all for national news. International news is next. And in international news, Prime Minister Boris Johnson acted unlawfully when he suspended the United Kingdom's Parliament. The country's highest court has ruled. House of Commons Speaker John Bercow has said that the Parliament will reconvene its current sessions on Wednesday morning. Prime Minister Boris Johnson said he strongly disagrees with the ruling. Prime Minister Boris Johnson, who suffered a series of defeats when he lost his parliamentary majority and ability to govern through the legislature, suspended Parliament just weeks before the crucial October 31st deadline for the UK to leave the European Union. But UK Supreme Court ruled unanimously on Tuesday that the real motivation was to prevent MPs from scrutinizing the government ahead of the divorce deadline. Has called on world leaders to pursue climate change adaptation and mitigation measures that secure people's livelihoods and expand economic opportunities. President Kenyatta made the call at the Climate Change Summit held on the sidelines of the ongoing United Nations General Assembly in New York.
Sustainable climate action is about people.
Sustainable climate action is about the people. It is crucial that we do everything we can to make sure that nobody is left behind, so as to implement measures that will enable our people to expand their economic opportunities. We recently inaugurated our biggest wind farm in Africa in Lake Turkana to promote the use of clean energy. We also plan to plant 2 billion trees.
The National Commission dealing with integration of former soldiers into ordinary citizens in Rwanda has said that military groups in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo will not be tolerated in the two countries. This was said during a meeting which brought together members of the Commission, including stakeholders in the disarmament operation of military groups in North Kivu.
As you're all aware, the decline in peace in DRC is also a problem for Rwanda. There are some still who must be discouraged, I take this opportunity to ask for more support to be given in destroying such groups. What is also important is to speak to the people about this issue.
The 64th Commonwealth Parliamentary Conference is kicked off in Kampala, Uganda, with various workshops discussing issues of common interest to the delegates from over 50 countries. The conference is focusing on various issues that affect women, which include women's involvement in leadership.
There are jurisdictions where we still have unequal pay for the same work. There are jurisdictions where access to opportunities. I want to sit behind my flag. Then the chief of protocol of the country said, "Madam, don't sit there. That's for the minister."
And that is all for international news. Business news follows after this break.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
To be rich, I have to be a business person.
It's not an easy road at all.
People need to understand.
You must quickly think, how cost effective are you going to be?
Business acts as a way in which it can bridge that gap.
Business Edition will keep you informed on latest developments in the financial sector, extractive industry, tourism, agriculture, energy, construction, and so much more. Meet entrepreneurs who create employment opportunities. Watch Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Welcome back, and in business news. Dar es Salaam Community Bank, DCB, has surpassed its target of collecting deposits amounting to 18.5 billion shillings from 15 billion shillings it had expected to get during the 3-month campaign called Lamba Kwanza.
In addition to the increase in the number of customers, whereby we've grown from 144,000 customers in 2018 to at least 200,000. This is as a result of digitally improved infrastructure, whereby the bank is now more focused on offering services through DCB Digital.
The Ministry of Industry and Trade has called on traders along border areas to follow procedures aimed at facilitating their businesses and remove challenges in border areas.
Ministry of Trade and Industries would like to notify the general public and business owners across the country, especially those who work at the border, that special measures have been put in place to report on any business restrictions or challenges. The main objective is to enable business owners to access services on time through the ministry and various institutions.
Ni kuwezesha wafanyabiashara kupata huduma haraka kupitia wizara na taasisi mbalimbali.
And Tanzania has started to implement an international quality standard system for production of seeds, which will enable producers to export surplus seeds.
Iko taasisi inaitwa OECD.
There is an institute called OECD that has its own scheme for quality seeds called OECD Seed Schemes. Tanzania joined the organization in 2016, and from then on we have been following their procedures. However, not many experts had the knowledge. Thus, today we have brought our experts from TOSCI and private sector stakeholders so they can receive training and implement the required international standards. The main thing we are aiming for is to ensure sufficient quality seeds are produced in the country, that those companies importing seeds be able to produce seeds here instead of ordering. They will then be able to also export surplus seeds and sell to outside markets.
That's where we leave off with business news. Sports news is next.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Opposition, Joaquinho, he did lose and left.
And in sports, youth soccer coaches and football authorities in the country have been advised to recognize the difference between training for children and training for adults.
My point of view, adult football is all about results. If you look at the Champions League or even Tanzanian Premier League, they always want to be at the top, so you want to win games at any cost. But with children, it should be a little bit different, because the determining factor of success in children's football, if we can bring every kid to the level that they could go to by training them appropriately. So we should not only look for results, but much more to look for results in terms of a development of the kids that we are training. That should be the main factor of evaluation.
The national amputee team has urged Tanzanians to emulate President Dr. John Magufuli's initiative of funding the team in preparation for the Africa Cup of Nations. Its 90 million shillings is still needed to support the team.
In this last week, they have at least got a coaster for going and returning from training to remove fatigue as we are finalizing the camp. So they're very happy with Mr. President's help, but we're still in need.
Barcelona's Lionel Messi and the USA World Cup winner Megan Rapinoe have been crowned Players of the Year at FIFA's The Best Awards held at the stunning Teatro alla Scala. Here is the report.
With 21 of the 55 nominees playing in England, it was natural that the Premier League would dominate the men's awards, but there was surprise as Messi bet Virgil van Dijk, who lifted the UEFA Player of the Year trophy to the Man prize. The Argentina forward collected his 6th FIFA title to make him the outright record holder, ahead of an absent Cristiano Ronaldo, who has won 5. Messi helped fire Barcelona to the 2018-2019 league title, and the staggering 54 goals in 58 games no doubt helped swing the vote in his favor. Megan Rapinoe used her platform as the newly crowned Player of the Year at FIFA's Best Awards to speak out against racism and homophobia, as well as the pay gap in football. At the ceremony in Italy on Monday, Rapinoe gave nods to Iran's Blue Girl Sahar Koyedari, LGBTQ players, the anti-racism campaigns of our fellow footballers Raheem Sterling and Kalidou Koulibaly, and the battle for equal pay. Stories that have inspired me most: Raheem Sterling and Kalidou Koulibaly, the young Iranian woman who burned to death the one-out MLS player, the out NWSL player, she said during her acceptance speech. The 34-year-old also said the fact that women's awards were announced after those of the men were a sign of progress. Leeds United and their manager Marcelo Bielsa won the 2019 FIFA Fair Play Award at the governing body's annual awards ceremony in Milan. The championship side won the award after Bielsa ordered his team to let Aston Villa score an equalizer at Elland Road in April. Mateusz Klich had put Leeds ahead, while Villa forward Jonathan Kogia was down with an injury. Klitsch's goal led to melee between both sets of players, with Anwar El Ghazi sent off for the visitors. When play restarted, Albert Adoma was allowed to run through and level the game, although defender Pontus Jansson still tried and failed to tackle the Villa winger. In April 2019, Marcelo Bielsa and the Leeds United squad were chasing automatic promotion to the English Premier League. They faced Aston Villa and went 1-0 up. However, Matos Klitsch's goal was scored while Villa player lay injured. Bielsa ordered his side to allow the position to equalize. The game finished 1-1, ultimately allowing their promotion rivals Sheffield United to guarantee the automatic spot in the Premier League at Leeds' expense. What was at stake makes Bielsa's act of sportsmanship all the more remarkable.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin. My name is Vanessa Victor. Thank you for watching and have a good night.
This week, youth coaching training with coaches from Germany.
What they were taught is why we're here at the TBDC Megocheni grounds in Dar es Salaam.
Some kids, they've been there for a while, some kids are coming in new, then they don't all have the same quality level, and it's also difficult to balance, but the coaches can manage.
And from this and much more, don't miss Sports Gazette every Wednesday at 7 p.m. only on Cap.